Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of the Drug and Alcohol Attorneys video newsletter. I hope everybody is doing well and that you had a great holiday. In today's video I want to talk about a question that was raised, which is how long should I put my loved one in treatment for? We get families that call us and say, can I put my loved one in treatment for 30 days? Should I do it for 60 days? Should I do it for 90 days? And that's a really great question because obviously financially putting somebody in treatment for 90 days or even longer may be a significant burden on the family. So here's what we strive for. Here's what our goal is here at Drug and Alcohol Attorneys. We want to keep your loved one in sobriety for 1 year. 1 year. And we just know from experience that if you can keep somebody from using for 1 year, they're more likely than not to stay in recovery. If it's less than a year, they're more likely than not to have a relapse. Now, of course, that's not set in stone. And obviously people can be sober for many, many years and then have a relapse. And obviously with what's going on right now with COVID and lockdowns in various parts of the country, people are stressed. And I certainly understand why we've seen a significant uptick in people suffering from relapses and mental illness. But 1 year is the goal here. Now, that doesn't mean to say that you have to hire us for a year. It doesn't mean to say that you have to put your loved one in treatment for a year. But there has to be some plan in place to keep somebody in recovery for a year. So, when we get hired on a Marchman Act case, we make a 90-day commitment. And the reason I say 90 days is because we're going to get you a 90-day court order. Now, one of the things I try to do on every Marchman Act case is I try to speak to the person that I'm Marchman Acting, the respondent. And most of the time they're open to having a conversation with me. And what they tell me is that 90 days is the minimum amount of time that they needed to be in treatment. They tell me that 90 days is just the beginning. And obviously, if you can get from 90 days to 180 days, now you're halfway, to that 1 year goal. But be that as it may, I can tell you that, one of the things I'm sort of proud of is the relationships and friends we've made within the treatment industry. And the people that I speak to who tell me they've maintained long-term sobriety, who haven't used in many, many years, tell me that they work on their sobriety on a daily basis. And what that means is that they probably go to meetings once or twice a week. They still are in contact with their sponsor. They still do the things that they need to do to maintain that lifestyle of sobriety. And if you think about it logically, if you God forbid were dealing with an illness and your doctor said, look, you gotta stop doing the things that are causing you to be sick, right? Start exercising, stop eating junk food, and you did that for a period of time, got well, and then went back to what you were doing and got sick again, I mean, that would make sense, right? I mean, if you go back to your old ways, you get the old results. And the same thing with recovery, right? Once the person is in recovery, the goal here is to give them the skill set and make sure they are in the environment where they can maintain sobriety. So 1 year is the goal. We love keeping people in treatment for 90 to 180 days. But look, I'm available to certainly discuss this with you. This is not a clinical opinion. This is just my opinion basically from the hundreds, maybe thousands of cases that we've handled over the last 5 years, and certainly the thousands of families I've spoken to. So if you want to discuss this more, feel free to reach out to us. Stay safe and be well.